Yeah, okay, I'll start. Very good morning to one and all present over here. I, Tanvi Malik, a student member of NaPSAT, welcome you all to this webinar. First of all, I would like to introduce NaPSAT to you. The Navonmesh Prasar Student Astronomy Team, or NaPSAT, is an initiative by the Navonmesh Prasar Foundation. It is the first ever high school team to represent India at the NASA Human Exploration Rover Challenge to be held at Huntsville, Alabama in 2021 April. So, we are going to be going there with our rover and representing India. NaPSAT consists of space enthusiasts from all across Odisha who are continuously striving to turn their dreams into reality. Curiosity is the essence of our existence, and today's honorable guest, Madam Nikitha C, understood that from a very, very young age. Madam Nikitha has been awarded as the Kalpana Chawla Scholar ISU as well as the Youth Icon 2019. Madam Nikitha is the CEO as well as the co-founder of SSERD. She is a space educator as well as a promoter of girls and women in STEM education who is continuously striving to educate our younger generation in the nation on space. So, ma'am, I would like to invite you to inspire us with your motivating words. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Tanvi. That was wonderful. I mean, like, I know about myself, but when you read out, when you were reading out, I just had my hair standing, like, kind of thing. So, thank you so much. And first of all, I would like to congratulate the whole team of yours in order to take this idea forward and go represent India over there. That's something like really, really amazing. And I wish you all the best. That's the first thing I would like to say. And the second, of course, any kind of help that you all would need, we are there. Okay. So being said that, I would like to like introduce myself first. Like did Tanvi did say, I'm a aerospace enthusiast. Like, and how it started is basically like my house where I'm staying right now is pretty close to the old airport in Bangalore. And that time, like all the aeroplanes used to take off and land from this airport. So, like I could literally see all the aeroplanes taking off and landing from my place, and this was when I was like really young, like probably 5 to 6, 8 years, and that kind of motivated me to just become a pilot. Okay, and then my goal was to become a pilot until I was in 12th grade. Okay, so 12th grade, I was supposed to take a step in order to go become a pilot, and then I realized that I'm not tall enough. Like, the specific height that we really need to have, and I got to know that I'm short. Like I'm short and I can't meet that. And I was like, okay, because physical rest, like there are a lot of limitations, and then this my height was one, and and probably the first one, and I kind of stopped there, and I was like, okay, so what next? If I don't drive an aeroplane, it's okay. Let me learn about all these aircrafts and spacecrafts, and all these things is what came to my mind. And right in my 12th grade, I decided to do aeronautical engineering or aerospace engineering. And when I was looking for universities, I was so lucky to get a university which was providing both aeronautical and space in the name of aerospace engineering. And that luckily happened to be here in Bangalore itself, right? Again, I come up from I come from a family which is basically like don't let you go out. Okay. And they would say that you have to be back home by this time. So I kind of come from that family. So when I wanted to kind of study, and they said, okay, you do whatever you want, but it has to be here in Bangalore because you have to come back to home, right? So, and then I got this university in Bangalore. They were very happy, and got the chance, and yeah, it happened. I studied there, and then it's basically like all my friends whom I had, my juniors and seniors, we always used to talk, and then they always used to say that what they like to study was different, and what they were studying here in engineering was different, right? So they thought they would study about all the stars and planets, but they started learning about all these aeroplanes and
Hello.
space, like rockets and satellites. And
अरे
few of them
चल रहा है चल
actually
रहा है
thought that
स्क्रीन
by the end of fourth year they would
नहीं
become
अरे अभी
pilots,
कॉल मत करो
which
ना
means, like, what I'm trying to say is they actually didn't know what is what. Like, if they wanted to study stars and planets, it's basically called astrophysics, for which they had to take pure science, right? So these are few things that they were like really missing out, and because of that they kind of started showing lack of interest in the education, in the academics, and they started showing very poor um you know their very poor results, right? And they used to be the best until the 12th grade. They are all toppers, but when they come to university, they were like struggling to pass because it was not their cup of tea. And I feel like this is so wrong. I mean, like, they should know. One should know what they are going to study. One should know that this is what I can do later. These are the options that I have, right? This is something that was missing, and I always thought I should help them. That's when I actually met another person who had similar thoughts. This happened when I was attending one of the conference, and again, luckily I attended because it was in Bangalore again. Right? If it was another city, my parents wouldn't have let me go. I went there, and the trick that I used to be part of that is something that I want all of you to try using those. Okay, uh, so I saw that there is a conference happening and I wanted to be part of it, but I couldn't afford to be paying the charges, right? So what I did was I called up the organization, or like, let's say there will be contact numbers given, right, when there is any competition going on. What I did was I called up and I said, okay, see, I'm Nikitha and I'm from Bangalore. I would be happy to volunteer in case if there's any help required, because yeah, like, I'm here, any kind of logistics help I can do. And they were like, yes, yes, for sure, we need someone to help, because the organizers were not from Bangalore and they were organizing it in Bangalore, and they wanted some kind of help. You go to any programs, anything, there will be some kind of help that would be required. So there is no loss in asking, right? You go there and you ask if you need any help, and see if they need any help, they would let you in. So there, they said they would need help, and I started helping them like 2 months before the conference, and then um, I got my fee waived off. That is something least that we should worry. But on top of that, I really got the chance to meet the founders of that organization, or the, like, you be one of the team member, the benefits is different than being one of the common delegate, right? So that's what I started getting to know all the speakers who were there, like the scientist, like, I really knew everyone who was attending the conference, right? Because I'm the organizer, like, I know who is coming because I have to arrange them to travel, and everyone would have spoken to me. So you're building your contacts. Today, all those 100 people whom I met are in different places doing different things. Imagine that kind of strong network having with us, right? So this was just one conference I attended. Like that, I have attended like quite a few of them, and in few among those, in few I have been I've been in the organizing team. Um, I take that idea and make sure I use it. So this is for everyone. When you see something like that, make sure you are a part of it in a special way, because we want you to get more things than other ones, right? We just don't want to go and be there. That's something that I'm not liking with virtual conferences. There's one or the other space conference or one or the other different type of conference happening around the world, but and I'm part of it. The thing is, I don't get the chance to meet them, right? And I feel really bad about it, but yes, you should be part of as many things as possible, because what matters is your network. For example, Ankan has 10 people who are in 10 different things, and then Varshini has like 25 people. So Varshini is rich now, is rich in contacts, right? And that's what we all gotta do. You gotta develop that contacts whom you think who could be helpful for you later in the future, right? For example, you all are working on the rover, and you need a different kind of support. You might need the structural components, you might need electronic components, you might need financial support, you need someone who can help you with the design. So you really need to sit and search for the best people, and take the use of internet, right? Just go and find. You can literally find anyone whom you want. And then I hope all of you are on LinkedIn, right? If you're not, if you're not get on LinkedIn and start getting connected to everyone whom you think they could help you, right? See, and then one more important thing I want to tell you all is that you might reach out to many, but then none of them will give you the positive response that you wanted. For example, you reached out to someone asking for financial support, they will not support you. And don't cut the contact there, and this is a mistake that most of them do. It's like you got to say thank you, and say that we would still like to stay in touch with you, and keep going with that contact, and see how they could let them keep seeing what you're doing, keep them updating about how you're progressing, right? In one or the other day in the future, you will see they'll keep seeing you, and they'll feel like, okay, I think I have to support them. There will be a day, okay? So being said all these things, I wanted to here I was supposed to talk about space education. I have a small presentation, let me share. Just give me a second. Okay, I want someone to help me uh, to know if it is getting shared, if you all can see my slide. Can you all see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, great. So this is our organization. It's called Society for Space Education, Research and Development. It's basically a group of people who are space enthusiasts coming together and discussing about space things that are happening. That is how it started off. And then we went to next level of solving the problems and much more. So what I want all of you to think is that we have challenges, right? If we just talk about the world, first thing that comes to our mind is challenges. And when you talk about challenges, you have challenges that we're facing here on Earth. At the same time, we also have challenges in space, right? So you need to look at all those, list down all those challenges, and see what is something that bothers you. No, why I put up these two is because we are the earthlings, like we're living on Earth, which is such a precious planet, and we found so many challenges, and that's something like really concerning, because the future generation are the one who are going to leave, and there's so many things that we have to make sure that they have it in the same way that we got it, right? Similarly, the challenges in space, like if we have to start moving towards other planet, we really need to see if we are fit enough for that, if we have enough things, or if there's any challenges, or if there's anything that's not letting us to go and explore, right? So the challenges are like really really important. And then particularly we say that there is a space solution, right? Any challenge you talk about, we can think of potential space solution, right? Now, to just give you an example, on Earth we have something like Earth. On Earth we have like climate problem, urban cities, water problem, and then we have the economic growth, like the farmers not getting proper yield, or there are many challenges. And we could give the solution with the help of space technology or space-based solution, right? Similarly, for the problems that we have in space, yeah, of course, that is a different solution. Again, it's space solution. So we really need to think of these, and that's why space education is like really really important. And we found these are the problems, like outdated content, and we thought like we need to update the content, like the students must know what's happening right now and not just about history, because that is what you read in our books. And updated method of learning, because like we the way we all learn, I hope you all know, like we read the books and we are done, right? But what we think is that has to be changed. We need to have like STEM based learning, kind of hands on learning, like you build and make, you experience. For example, if I'm talking about water, or like let's say what's in the water or states of water, what we say is you can take the water, put it in the I put it in the refrigerator, it becomes ice. Instead, we show everyone, have a refrigerator, put it in the fridge, let students do it, and make them play with the temperature and see how fast it becomes an ice, or at what temperature, all these things. Like observable education is what we think we have to do, and that's what SSERD is working on. And then of course lack of space knowledge, like there's so many people who don't know what space is. Like today, we use space based, like space technology in our day to day activities, right? Like let's say morning we wake up, the first thing that we do, like we get ready and everything, and we sometimes check, if you have to go to some place, we check weather, right? The weather updates is because of space technology. And for example, if you go to a shop and you want to buy something, you use cards or you use net banking, space technology. For example, if you want to go from your house to a new place, you use Google Maps, space technology, right? And you actually get to know what is happening in the other part of the world through live programs, space technology. So think of different things that we are using in our day to day, like everyday activities where we are like dependent on space technology and people don't know about it. So our idea was to tell about how we're using it, and also, as I said, like tell the students that this is space and that these are the different branches in space, so that they know and then they get into a proper career, right? So it was started by me and Sujay in the year 2016. 2016 is when we got this idea, okay, we have to do something. And 2017, we got it registered as a not-for-profit organization or non-governmental organization, with an objective of, getting the whole community and promote space among them, and make them fall in love with space. At the same time, prepare the whole community to be part of something called as space revolution. I hope all of you must have heard of IT revolution, green revolution, industrial revolution. Now we are already part of something called a space revolution. Just some time back, I was telling you how our every day is so much dependent on space technology, right? So we're part of space revolution, and we are
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Through hands-on activities. They meet the scientists, they go for a field trip, they build the things, they see through the telescope and everything. Like, we just wanted them to have the same experience over here, and this was like so successful. And then we kept on doing this every year. This is the only year when we did not have. And apart from that, we had a lot of other programs like Space Talk. And Space Trek is like field trip to space related places. Sky gazing, we do lot of different things. And SSERD was not just in India. We were also invited to Mauritius and Sri Lanka, like to tell about space. And because these are the countries, like for us here in India, we have ISRO, right? But if you go to these countries, there is nothing like that, and the students don't know anything about space over there. So our goal became not just to tell people here in India, but outside India as well. And that's how we started going outside and started telling about space technology, and started training the African and Sri Lankan the program coordinators to do the programs over there. And we have our own SSRD Philippines team. And this was during the second Astrospace camp in Cebu City, that's in Philippines, where it all started with one student having interest in learning. She gathered her few friends, and they all started learning. And then they didn't want it to stop there. They went on, started, and they started teaching the students over there, right? That's how the community of 500 plus space enthusiasts in Philippines begin. And again, Philippines is a country which doesn't have much progress over there. They recently had their Philippine Space Agency inaugurated. Like, we have ISRO, and which is like 60 years old, but in Philippines, just 1 year back, they had a Philippine Space Agency. But SSERD is there from past 3 years, right? So this is how we want to work, like to tell people about space, and to kind of spread that knowledge. And of course, me being one of the women co-founder of SSERD, I always worried, like whenever we used to have programs, we used to have very less girls and sometimes no girls. That used to like bother me a lot. And I was like looking, why are people not coming? Why are people not letting their girl child go and take up program? Is it like they don't have interest, or is it like, is there any problem? And I did this like proper research, asked a few of them, and what I did was I just designed a program telling it's just for girls. Okay. And the result was I had people joining in hundreds. There was one program where I had 200 girls and women who joined. And I realized that it's the gender barrier. Okay. Like, when it's a common program, parents are not letting them. When it's girls only, they were like, okay, it's just girl, they're secure, just go there, right? So I realized this is something that's there in their mind, and I started doing such kind of programs so that you know I can see more girls in our programs. Then we have our volunteers everywhere in India. Like, you probably must be in the rural to rural place. We usually have our volunteers who go and learn and do the programs over there, right? And then these are our few students who not just learn, they make the model, and then they learn, and then they teach. These are few sky gazing pictures. As I said, we tell everyone what is space, and the way we teach and everything. This is one of the special project which we did in collaboration with the government of Telangana, right? In fact, you all, once you finish your rover challenge, I want you all to come back and reach out to me so that we could do such kind of payload. Like, you can design one of these scientific experiment, and we can send this to space, like we call near space or stratosphere. Okay, I hope you must have heard or learned about stratosphere. And so we can launch our payload to with the help of this balloon to that height. like it goes up to 30 kilometer, sometimes 35 kilometer. While it goes and comes back, it records a lot of data, and you can use those data to come up with some research, right? You can conduct some experiment. So we can do this. SSERD would be very happy to help you. And this was one team like that. In fact, this whole program was funded by the government of Telangana. This is a video, YouTube video. I'm not sure if it will play, but you can check it out on um, Google. It's called SSERD, and you'll find what the work they have done. This particular students worked on a payload which can actually measure the ozone content in the ozone layer. How cool is that? And these are like 8th, ninth, 10th standard students, and you're in probably in the same range, also 11th and 12th. Imagine you could do much more as well, right? So let's do this, is what I'm trying to say. And then these are the undergrad students who come and take up their project at SSERD. They do online projects, like they stay with us and they do the research, and that's how it happens. Then apart from that, okay, yeah, I think this is like really, really important. Why am I talking about all this? And something really important from now, okay? Till earlier, I have said what we all do and how we do. But now I want to say that space is just not engineering. Okay? Space is not just becoming an engineering, like space engineer or space scientist. No, because space is something that really needs everyone to come together and work. For example, if I say that, I want to build this and I want to launch, there is a need of a lawyer who looks at rules and regulations that are formed and see that you don't break. Or if you break it, there are space lawyers who come and ask you, why did you do this, and you need to pay. It's like space law, okay? And then we also have application and exploration, like basically you send something to go and find something. For example, we got to know that there's water on moon and also the water on Mars. These are all explorations, right? And applications, for example, we know how better we can use satellites. First, we always used to think, okay, satellites could be used for transmitting information. But what kind of information? We thought, okay, let's keep the camera and see the picture of the Earth. And then when we took the picture of the Earth, we realized, oh, this is how Earth looks like. Can I use this picture to collect this information? Like to see how much water is left in our oceans, and how much water is getting depleted, how much amount of glaciers are melting down, and what is the forest area that is coming down, where is it getting burned. These are all the applications, right? Coming to business and management, space is again not just about becoming an engineer. You could become an entrepreneur and do the business as well. A lot of them, I hope all of you have heard of Elon Musk, right? He comes into this segment, business and management. There's so many space related companies, and they did not just think of becoming an engineer. They thought of doing something that no one has done ever. And that's how they became entrepreneurs. And that's how they're famous. And that's how they're contributing back to the country and the world. Right? So, and at the same time, you might have thought, okay, I explained you how law works in space law, what space law is. It's nothing but a lawyer who works for space related issues. We also have space doctor. I don't know how many of you have heard of it. We have something called a space medicine, right? What do? These are the doctors, the normal doctors, but they know a little more about space, or they know how our body behaves in space, so that these doctors can treat the astronauts who go to space or who are in space, right? This is how, because our body doesn't behave the same way how it behaves here, right? So space medicine, I mean, just there are so many things you could do. Like you can become a space architect, space lawyer, space artist, a lot of things. never ever think of just becoming an engineer. There's so many things you could do. Just if you have interest, look out for all these options and see what you can do, right? And that's what we focus on. We want everyone to know, and we kind of teach about all these different things under our programs. And of course, I think most of you would have heard of COVID, right? Like how it changed the whole world. It changed the whole world, like literally, where we used to take like years and years to do something. Like for example, if there's some issue, usually people take 10 years to produce a vaccine. But now you see, we are trying to do it as fast as possible, so it made us go fast. COVID made us go fast with the production and research. At the same time, COVID let us explore the online education, like what we're doing right now. If there was no COVID, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have spoken to you like this today in this way. I don't know how many of you agree for it, but I totally agree for this, right? So this is like it brought online talking, online communication, right? And online education. At the same time, like that, COVID has brought a lot of change. And how many of you know that space can also uh, help in one or the other way for COVID problems that we have? Like for example, COVID, like space technology could be used to find how are the things that are getting affected with the help of COVID. Like for example, how many people are still traveling with the help of satellites? How many people are on the roads? So many things. Okay. And at the same time, another important thing that I want all of you to know is, like, during the lockdown, everyone went mad. Like, I can't sit at home, I can't sit at home, I can't stay away from my friends and my families, my relatives and all this. You know what? um, Space people are used to it, because when astronauts go to space, they literally are away from their family members, friends and everyone, and they are there for 6 months, and they know how to live that isolated life, right? So during this whole pandemic, astronauts were telling, this is something that we used to always experience. You can also be there, you can also do that. So many things that space actually taught us. And yes, as I said, we went online after COVID, and we touched upon like more than 15,000 students from 60 plus different countries. This is like wonderful. And on top of it, like we've reached out to 50k plus students from more than 70 countries, um, to, with all these programs. And I want all of you to know, like, India has this role, and similarly, US has NASA. I want you all to observe how many can you identify from here. Which all do you think you know, right? Check it out. Like for example, I'm pretty sure you must be knowing JAXA, Roscosmos. You must be knowing. But look at all these things. We have like Greece has its own, Ukraine, Romania, and then Korea has its own space agency. Brazilian, yeah, you can see there's Brazil's space agency, Italy's, DLR's, Germany, Spain, Iran, Israel, right? There's so many countries who are now coming up with their own space agencies, and then like 100 of them don't have space programs. So there are people, not just there, like many places where they recently started out, like Philippine Space Agency, Australian Space Agency, UAE Space Agency. These are like pretty new, and people do need to know about space over there, and that's where we're working on. And we need to create that ecosystem. You remember I was talking about the network? So the network must involve the government people, the people who are in government, the people who are like scientists and astronauts, entrepreneurs. You really need help of space organization, institution, industries, everyone. We need everyone to come together and form that ecosystem to make sure everything is possible, right? And of course, I want to tell you all much more about this, something called a spin-off, okay, wherein these are a few things which we used to use in space, and we realized that we could use that here on Earth. Just to give you an example, we used freeze dried meals when we went to moon, because like we went to moon, it took like a month of time, okay, to go and come back. Not exactly a month, but around a month of time. And we had to carry the food. So what we did was we kind of made this whole new type of food which could stay for a longer time. And what we did, we started using that here on Earth. Similarly, water purification. We can't carry 1,000 liters of water while we go to space, right? Because the rocket has to be like small and everything. So what we did in space was we started purifying, recycling, reusing, and that technology became so useful over here on Earth as well, right? So these are the different ways that space spin-offs are being useful here for people here on Earth. um, as I said, rapid action on COVID and Earth observation solutions were like amazing that we used during this whole 8 9 months that we had. And of course, I'm giving you this example of ISS because we recently finished like 20 years, and ISS tells us that we all are together. Like you must be reading news telling, oh, this country is having a war against this country, that country, they are doing this, they are doing this. A lot of hatedness. But I want you all to know that there is, when it comes to space, everyone start working together, right? In ISS, it's not this particular huge thing in space is not does not belong to just one country. It belongs to several countries. They work together over there, and that's called cooperation, right? Collaboration. And that's what we all need to work in the same way. If you want something to happen, we really need to collaborate and cooperate and work. For example, you see all astronauts who go to space are from different countries. They all work together, and that's how we all need to work together as well. I remember one thing which came to my mind when I was in Mauritius, and there was one of the astronaut who was speaking, and they were telling that. In fact, they were not telling, but just I was just getting this question. If you're not in your town, you say, like, if someone like your friend or someone call you and ask where are you, you say that you're not in that town. For example, if someone calls me and asks where am I, if I'm not in Bangalore, I'll say I'm not in Bangalore. Now if someone calls me when I'm not in India, like I'm not in India, okay, I'm in another country, and someone asks me where I am, I don't say that I'm in Bangalore, I say that I'm not in India. Okay, so basically what happened here is, from a small region, you literally went outside India, and you said I'm not in India at all. Okay, now imagine if you go to space, you're not on Earth. If a friend calls you, what do you say? I'm not on Earth. Now what I want you to think here is, when we keep going away and away and away, the boundaries that we have between the countries will get erased, and we all become together. Imagine we being one of, when I just said Bangalore, and now I'm telling I'm not on Earth, which means I'm just saying that I belong to this Earth, right? So that's the beauty of space, wherein this the idea of space is that it just erases all the boundary. It will erase who you are, and it just makes you feel that you're so precious to be on this planet, and not just on this planet, in this whole universe, because we can't see anyone like us. We really can't see anyone like us, right? So that's about it. And recently we also heard about Artemis, which is a mission to go back to moon again by NASA, where it's not just NASA which is working, but they said united for peaceful exploration of deep space. Like every other country's organizations come together and work. Like if you can see, Australia came in together, and then Canada, JAXA, Luxembourg, UAE, UK, all these countries came together, and they're going to work together on Artemis, right? That's how it just brings out everyone together. And for you all, this is like really 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 important, right? um, when you're talking about any problems, you really need to say what is that thing that you're working on, right? Like for example, whatever you're working on should solve one of the problem that is mentioned here. or give a solution to this. These are all the sustainable development goals are by United Nations. I hope you must be heard of it. This is arranged in such a way that these are like very concerning and we should work towards it. We should convert this whole world towards no poverty, towards zero hunger, and having good health and well-being, and provide quality education. So whatever you're working on should make sure these, at least few of them, are attained. Okay, I want you all to think like that, because when we say no poverty, poverty is the first challenge we have in this world. When we say second is zero hunger, which means hunger is the second most important problem that we have in the world. So think of all these problems that we have and try to give the solutions with whatever project that you're working on. And this adds a lot of value to whatever you're working, in national, like United Nations level. We are very happy that again under United Nations there is something called as Office of Outer Space Affairs, where they said about our story, about we working on space education. This is like one of the best thing that happened to us, and we're so proud that our work was shared in the United Nations level. And that's about us. And thank you. I would be happy to take any questions.
Ma'am, thank you so much for inspiring us with your talk. It was really informative, and our team would also like really love to join you for join SSERD for their projects. And obviously, you made us learn so much about space, and we loved it. Now we would like to know a little bit about your story. So, first question is from me only. Like we know that behind every mission there is a vision, and like there must be a vision, a main vision behind SSERD. So according to you, what is that vision?
Uh,
What do you want to solve?
Yeah, thank you. As I said, the vision of SSERD is to prepare the community to be part of spacefaring world. We are going to go outside the Earth as well. In like 50 years back, we landed on Moon. In another 50 years, we might go and start living on Moon and Mars. When I say we, probably not me, you all or your kids in 50 years, right? And we want the whole community to be aware of that. For example, why I said this is because when I say space, and like usually people ask me, why should we spend so much money on space when we have so many challenges here on Earth? When we have like a lot of problem, why do you want to spend like crores and crores to go to space? Like, and then my answer is, you know how we are using space technology in our everyday activities, and how did you get all those? If a person long back wouldn't have thought of putting all these technologies there, how would you be even doing the banking, net banking? How would you be even knowing what is the weather? All these things, and if you like, it is required to spend for space technology. And I want you all to also say this when you hear such question, because this is the stupid question which few people ask, and I want you all to answer that the amount spent for space is very less compared to the challenges that we already have. There is particular amount of money which is dedicated for every problems, okay, and it is going for problems that you are telling already, and there is very little that is coming for space. And again, whatever we are using for space comes back to each one of us, so you don't have to worry about it. That's what I want all of you to answer, and that's what our idea is. Our vision is to prepare the whole community to be part of space revolution. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Another question is that like space is a very fascinating place. It's a vast place. Like something must have attracted you to it. So like, what is the thing exactly the thing that you love about space?
Oh, this is a very good question. I might need to think. I never got this question. For me, it's like, okay, my name is Nikita, okay, and it has a meaning. It means the earth, okay, and I really love the earth, which is in space. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Now I think that my fellow teammates would also like to ask you some questions. So, Varshniti, if you'd.
Yeah, sure. Hi, ma'am. So
Hi, ma'am.
actually, we learned that there was a nickname for you called Mughal. So could you just share how you got the nickname Mughal?
What is it?
Mogul, Mogul. So we got it in the website.
Is it? Ah, I didn't have a name like that. No.
Okay, it's fine. So I wanted to ask you another question. What is your feeling after spending a lot of your time in space talks, workshops, online meetings, and interacting with a lot of young people like us? So, what's your overall feeling after that?
Yeah, for me, it's like I see when I talk about space among everyone, they kind of I see the curiosity among them. I see that they just start thinking. I see that they start um, like looking the whole world in a totally different way, right? That is something which I really like when I talk to students. Like for example, I take my telescope and just go to a place where there are more kids, and I show them the moon or planets, and they literally start jumping, and that's what I love to see. And I tell them this is this much far, can you believe it? And then they'll be like, really? So I really like them getting so curious about things that are there. Like for example, you all, I'm pretty sure you heard something new while I was talking, and then you all must have like at least something could have been like eye opener for you all, right? And that's what I love about it. Yeah, that's what I love. And I really love meeting students. So yeah.
Yeah, so I have another question for you. So, what was the life turning situation in your career which led you to your dream? Like, there is a twist in every person's life. So, what was that one situation in your life, like, which really you think today as that it has sparked your dream?
Yeah, very good question again. I can see there are a lot of twists. Okay, there are a lot of twists. uh, but I think I would have done everything except one thing, that there was a time where I had to take a decision of me stopping whatever I'm doing at SSERD and just go do a normal work like everyone does. Um, and I actually gave an interview for that, okay, and I was supposed to receive the response from them. And before I get the response, I just told them that no, I don't want to take this job, and I continued to work as take care of SSRE. So I think that is something that I still um, remember, and I think that is something that has made me what I am right now till today. Like imagine if I would have agreed and went to that job, I don't know if I would have spoken to you all. So yeah.
So, here's another one. So, what is the ultimate goal of your life, like your dream project? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Next 10 years, yeah, like there are so many things that I have in my mind. One is for me, it's like one myself, and the second is the people whom I think of. Okay, so when I say people whom I think of, I want to kind of reach out to as many people as possible and help them with their studies and things. And of course, space is just one part of that. And my particular goal in another 10 years is I really want to work on one of the worst problem that we are facing here on earth and give it a solution for it, so that the upcoming generation will not have to face that problem. And like that's what I want to work on and make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, so the team, you can just carry on asking the
Yeah,
questions.
hi ma'am. So
Hi.
everyone asked you about like your life and all the motivational stuff. So I'm not like that. I'm looking at the technical part of the team, so I'll be asking you some technical questions. So, as you know, like in today's time, there are many private space organizations like SpaceX, say Rocket Lab, many Indian companies such as Skyroot, Agnikul, Bellatrix. So many such students, college students, they are thinking of starting their own company. So, is it really does it have enough potential so that the students can start their own company?
Ankan, I can answer this in two ways. Okay. First thing is, uh, if you have an idea which gives the solution for one of the problem that we have, or it actually comes up with a very good innovation, and if people wants it, that's called market. Okay, if that is there, your age should not restrict you from doing anything. Like, even if you're an 8-year old, I would ask so and so kid to just go ahead and do whatever he want to do, if his idea is good and everything, right? Now that's what everyone has been doing. They have an idea, they get into doing it. But I have heard from my mentors, okay, like my gurus, that a person must have an experience of being an employee before becoming a boss. Unless you don't have an experience of being an employee and see how your boss treat you, how, what are the things that you miss as an employee, what are the things you wanted as an employee, you will not know what you have to give it to your employees by becoming a boss. That's what I have learned, I've been hearing from my mentors, because I personally come from a background where none of my parents are entrepreneurs. I'm like first generation entrepreneur in my whole family. And I don't know how to do the business. And I haven't also been an employee. Okay? Not just a space industry. I don't need to work in any space company or anything. It could be any company. I just need to be an employee. Have I been an employee? The answer is no. So I can't make few things work in certain way. But I have my partner who has been an employee of 3 to 4 different companies, so he knows how to take care of employees, so he does it. But when I talk about students, um, it's good you have an idea, make sure you start working on it. At the same time, have one, at least one experience of being an employee, and you will see that you will become the best boss. That's what I would like to say.
Okay, ma'am. So we have another question from one of our viewer. So his name is Sunil Barik. He asked, "Have you ever thought to clear out space debris? And do you know about asteroid mining? Is it possible in India? If it is possible, then when it will be?"
Very good question. Space debris is one of the major challenge, of course we have, and people have been working on this challenge from years and years, and there is not even one performed space solution. I personally haven't worked on space debris, but I tell students all the time to work on this problem, right? Now coming to this asteroid mining, there is Luxembourg. It's a country which is making sure they are the first one who do it. Okay, so you can check about it. And coming to doing this in India, of course, see, um, asteroid mining looks or sounds very interesting, very cool, but it's not easy, because I have a team which is working on this, like a technology. How will you even take something to an asteroid? How will you even check what is on that asteroid? And how do you bring that things back here? It's not easy. People have done that. For example, JAXA has been going and doing a lot of asteroid explorations. Okay, you can check it out. They are famous for asteroids, like particularly explorations to asteroids. And people can do here in India. Like, I don't know if this is the goal, if ISRO is planning to, I'm really not sure. But yes, you all can think, come up with this technology, execute it, and yeah, you will be the first one in India for sure. I know there is one company which is working on space debris. Okay, it's called as I'm not getting into my mind, but there is one company in India which is working on space debris. Okay, and they are like really going so fast, so damn fast in order to achieve that. And I hope that'll be done so soon. But coming to space mining, like asteroid mining, I haven't heard of anyone doing that. Um, you can give it a try. Yeah.
Okay, so I would also like to add something on this. Like recently, you might be knowing the OSIRIS-REx mission. They went on to the asteroid Bennu and they collected a sample of it. So, like step by step, we are going towards it, and in future, we'll surely try something to do that.
We will. It will happen. It will
Yeah.
happen. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
So,
anyone from the team?
yeah, actually, I wanted to ask one question. Like, ma'am, like you only stated that the current educational system, we are learning whatever it's given in the book, and it's not about something more interesting about what we actually wanted to learn. So it must be the same with you. Like you must have also been learning the same what was given in the books till your graduation and all. So how was it when you really started learning about the space and interesting facts?
That's what I said. It was wonderful. Like you feel like, oh, I don't know. I'll just give you an example, okay? We must have heard or read in our books that satellites are very huge, like really huge. And if you look at today's technology, the satellite size is very small. They are like cube size. And then in this, I want to tell you, cube size is again an outdated information. Outdated. You know what is the current updated information about satellites? There's something called as chipsat. It will be size of like just the size of this, and that can perform the same work that every satellite used to do like long back. And how do our students get to know about this? It's not there in the book. It will not come in the book because it's very hard. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get in touch with the government or the education board to give the updated information in our books so that all of them can read and know. Because like, see, particularly in India, not everyone has access to technology like internet or phone or things. The only way that they can read is through books. They can learn is through books, and the books has to be updated every now and then, right? So yeah, it's always fascinating to know that something big and something new has happened in the industry. Yeah.
Okay, so we have another viewer who wants to ask a question. So
Sorry.
there's another viewer who wants to ask a question. Her name is Shilpi Mukherjee. She wants to ask that when will ISRO send rover to Mars? Okay.
Very good question. Okay, okay, now let me tell ISRO. ISRO has launched Chandrayaan 1, which was just an orbiting mission. Chandrayaan 2 was to land, which was slight failure. Chandrayaan 3 is going to be again a landing, like a proper landing. Coming to Mars, we have orbiter mission, MOM. One we launched 5 years back. MOM 2 is something that's coming up. At the same time, ISRO is also working on a mission to Venus. Okay, that's called Shukrayaan. ISRO is also working on going to Sun, that is called Aditya L1 mission. And then you all know that ISRO is also working on Gaganyaan, which is basically to take humans to space. As in, I'll tell you in a very strong way, okay? Gaganyaan mission is to take an Indian astronaut in an Indian rocket from an Indian soil, which is basically full of Indian technology, right? Everything is like India, 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 and it's so indigenous. So again, when it comes to the question, when will we land on Mars? it might take some time because these are the set of missions we have. So first, we are going to learn landing on moon because moon is close to earth. Okay, so once we are perfect landing, we're so well experienced, then I'm pretty sure ISRO will for sure plan something to land on Mars as well, because Mars orbiter mission, which is a grand success for India to do it in the first time, and for sure once we are done with moon landing, we will do Mars landing also. Let's say by, oh, I don't want to give a time frame because yeah, if I'm wrong then it's wrong. I don't know, but yes, that might happen soon too. And let's tell ISRO, you should all say, we are waiting for Mars landing too, when will it happen? Then ISRO will say, oh, it's a good idea, let's work on it. So yeah, you all need to say to ISRO, you all need to say that we want to work on it as well, because by then you will be in the right stage to go and work in ISRO. So yeah.
So, okay, team, I'll wrap up with the last question. So, we learned that you are a great motivational speaker and a successfully social impact entrepreneur. So, you're a visionary and a role model for us. So, what is the message that you'd like to share with us, the youth, the blooming scientists?
Yeah. First thing I want to tell you all is, you are already, if you're doing what you're doing today, which means like you are the best among others. Okay, now you go and achieve what you want to do. While you are doing everything that you wanted to do, there are so many obstacles that you're gonna see, you're gonna face for sure. So many things are going to come which is going to make you, like, which is going to stop you from doing what you wanted to do. Not just your academics, not just your work, the program that you all are working on, the rover, anytime in the future also. What you all need to do is just remember what you wanted to do, what the dream that you dreamt of, and you should know who can make it possible is just you, no one else. Remember that dream again, keep going forward and doing. It will be challenging, it will be challenging, of course. Every big thing is not easy. Okay, if you have big dreams, if you have big goals, it comes with big challenges. You really need to pass through them and make it happen. But I just want all of you to know that it is possible. Okay, it's possible, and just give it a try, give it a try, don't step back. That is something that I want to tell everyone. And of course, remember something, we all grow not just by ourselves, we need the whole community to grow with us. So remember this also. First thing that you need to do, you need to know is, you need to be, you're the best one anyways. At the same time, also be the best human. What do you mean the best human? Like, what are the human qualities, like proper human qualities? Like, if something is going wrong, even the animals come to help. Are you a person who's going to help someone? Think of that. At the same time, if you're hurting someone, try to say sorry. If you got someone's help, try to be thankful. um, these are the human qualities that we want to have and keep going, because you are the future generation and you should take the proper humanities to your future generation. That is what I tell. Be a kind person and achieve whatever you want to do. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Awesome. I hope it helped you all. And as I said, I would be very happy to help you at any point of time in any possible way. If that is something within my hands, I will be happy to do it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am, for inspiring us, for motivating us. Of course, we will reach out to you if we need your help, because you have like made us learn so much, like teach us so much, and I'm pretty sure that all our viewers watching this must also have learned a lot. So thank you for that, and thank you to my teammates for making this webinar possible, as well as thank you to all our viewers who have watched this with utmost sincerity. Thank you, everyone, and keep learning, keep innovating, and keep exploring.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.